Here's an example of a finished deck. On the right-hand side is a 3-layer system designed for railing posts. The left-hand side is designed for just waterproofing, which is just 1 layer. Here is a sample deck to show some of the advanced features of our deck construction. Remember, always measure carefully and check your local building codes. The 2 wooden squares in the lower and upper right-hand side are for providing a solid engineered mounting surface to fasten the railing posts to later. This deck is sloped to allow the water to run off the front edge. Available also are roof drains, so plan where and how the water is going to run off or drain from your deck project. Follow along with our deck building checklist on the website. After the plywood decking material is fastened and the flashing mounting wood is fastened to the side of the deck. The flashing mounts are 2x4s with slots cut into the side of the wood. This can be done very easily on a table saw. You will need to cut a slot in the ends to allow the flashing to be slid into place. Next, temporarily pre-fit the deck post mounting pads. Cut the flashing to size and pre-mount to the deck. The flashings are slid in and hook under the groove in the 2x4s. This will give you a general idea of what your finished deck is going to look like. The deck post mounting pad's purpose is to prevent the post from sitting in a puddle of water. Apply glue to the mounting pad area and screw them into place. Tape the plywood joints as this will prevent resin from seeping through. After the side flashings are nailed down, some areas may need a joint cover. Cut a 4-inch wide piece of flashing, place it over the joint and nail it into place. A handy trick to fill any really big gaps or voids: squirt in some expanding foam to fill the void. Wait for it to expand and cure afterwards, shave it down to suit. For gap filling, the Rayplex number 747 fibrous putty is mixed with MEK catalyst, after which you apply this to the gaps, voids, and uneven spots to give a smooth surface to lay the fiberglass bandages over. This will also fill any potential water pockets too. Using the number 747 fibrous putty again, next fill any knot holes or gouges in the wood to give you a nice smooth surface to laminate over. Next, cut 4-inch fiberglass strips to make a connecting bond between the wood surface and the flashings, along with flashing joints and over-taped plywood joints. Place the mat strips over the areas to be bonded for visual reference. Mix up some Fiberdeck resin with catalyst. Next, wet out the surface area to be bonded with resin. Then place the mat into it and saturate the mat with catalyzed resin. You will need to roll or brush extra resin into the mat till all the white area disappears. Matting contains a binder which takes about 3 minutes to break down or dissolve. Repeat this laminating procedure with mat and resin, covering any joints or gaps that need to be bonded together. A helpful trick on laminating: pre-wet out the mat on a piece of cardboard. When saturated, pick it up and place it on the bandaged area. Next, roll out the air and shape it as required. Next, in our sample deck, we're going to place 1 layer over half the deck and 3 layers over the other half. Pre-cutting your material makes the joints neater and reduces sanding later. The laminating procedure is the same as before. Pre-wet out the area with catalyzed resin. Place the fabric down and saturate the material with catalyzed resin. Finally, roll out any air bubbles and saturate any dry spots till you achieve a clear look. There's no need to wait between subsequent layers. After that, place layer number 2 down, wet it out, de-air that layer, and repeat again for layer number 3. Here's a couple of tricks in achieving a professional looking laminate. Wet out the last layer with some extra catalyzed resin. After that, go over the laminate with an aluminum finned roller and remove any remaining air. You'll know it's right when you see that glossy wet look. After all the laminating is cured, which generally takes 1 or 2 hours, it's time to coat the deck with 2 coats of gel coat. First, sand the deck with coarse grit sandpaper to remove any loose fiberglass hairs or sharp little splinters of resin-coated glass. Pay attention to the bandaged areas. Finally, thoroughly sweep off the whole deck and pay attention for any missed spots. Being always on the lookout for Murphy's Law, I might suggest that after sanding, take a garden hose and check the deck for any leaks or water pooling areas. Examine how the water is going to run off. So the first coat of gel coat is really easy. Mix it up with 1.5% MEK peroxide and apply a thick coat over the whole area. Don't forget under the flashings. Gel coat is the waterproofing layer to protect the fiberglass laminate from water. The second coat of Raplex gel coat has air dry additive or wax solution added, plus a fine sprinkling of fine sand for that non-skid surface. The second coat is divided into 2 steps. Step 1, sand the area again looking for any roughness. Tape off the area that's not going to be sand coated. Gel coat the taped off area and allow it to dry. Remove the tape as soon as you've finished. For the final stage, mix up more gel coat and coat the area. After that, sprinkle fine sand into the gel coat for that non-skid surface. I would recommend waiting at least 8 hours before walking on the deck to allow the gel coat to dry. If you have any further comments about this video, or would like to suggest topics for future videos, drop us a line at www.fiberglass.com.